Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Eldercare's training series, Eldercare Academy. I am Adrienne Ostras,
And I am Amanda.
and we are super excited about today's topic because this is the ideal time for these products. This is how you can sell all year long. And we have an amazing host with us this morning to talk exactly how these products work, how to market them, what exactly Zing brings to the table for marketing, which is my favorite part. So I know we'll talk about that to the end to make you stay on, but we definitely appreciate you taking the time to learn with us. But without further ado, I'd love to welcome our guest, Michelle. Good morning, Michelle.
Morning. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Thank you, Eldercare and Adrian and Amanda, for having me on today. I'm super excited to take a little bit of your time. So I hope you all have some coffee and you're just going to sit down and relax and hopefully learn some information because that's what I always like. I always like to not only share information about Zing Health, but just teach agents. So that's what I like to do. My name is Michelle Skenendor. I am the National Agency Manager with Zing Health, and I've worked with elder care and agents now. I've been in the industry for, gosh, a little over 10 years. So I don't know where that time went, but it's flown by. So just going to kind of jump in and we will have time for questions at the end. So please make sure you're jotting notes down or putting them into the chat or the Q&A feature, and we'll happily answer those for you. But I do think it's important to start first off with just a little bit of background on Zing Health because we are not a household brand that you're all familiar with. We are a very regional carrier. Specifically, we are in 6 states total with only in 43 counties within those states. So very, very regional based, but growing. Exponentially. So a little bit of our history, we started in January 2020. We were in one state and one county in Illinois, and that was Cook County. Since then, we've, sustainably grown from year to year. Our biggest growth overall was this past year going into 2025. We added 3 new states to our service area and we had an 87% county expansion. So 2025 has just been really, really fantastic for us. When you look at our overall service map, you're going to see that we don't go into states wanting to be in every single county. We truly are strategic on where we go. We look at the Medicare beneficiaries in every single county and we see which ones are going to benefit from our plans the most and where we can be the most impactful. So you're going to really find us around the metro areas in all of our states, slowly growing out into those rural counties as we're building our networks.
Yeah, and I know like it is super regional, but I mean I know a lot of agents sell in other states, and I was looking at the states everyone is in that's on this morning, and a lot of them are in Texas. And we were just talking about this. Our number one Zing producer lives in Texas.
Yep, and it is not uncommon this day and age to have an agent, classified as a field agent, but selling telephonically over the phone. It is so common, and we actually find a lot of our agents fall into that category. So just because you don't live in any of those states does not take you out of the running. You can absolutely be successful selling Zing Health plans, and really any other Medicare Advantage plan out there.
Mhm.
Looking at our growth, again, we're not not at all a household carrier name where we've got, hundreds of millions of members. We're meager, honestly. When I joined the team or when I, was brought on to Zing back in November of 2021, we had under 2,000 members, which is really just like a blip. But really, where we began to see an increase was as we were leading up to the 2024 AEP, which was when we released our new plans, which really had that shifted focus towards the C-SNP space. So agents saw that and they really grasped onto it. That AEP turned out to be historic for us. It brought us into January 2024 with just over 9,000 members. So we had a significant amount of growth that year. But here we are, almost, oh my gosh, almost June, halfway through 2025. And this past AEP, we saw 169% year-over-year growth. Right now, we have roughly 29,000 members. So we are continuously seeing it has not slowed down a bit for us. AEP rolled right into a really fast-paced OEP. And honestly, even during lock-in, we're seeing numbers and apps come in that are stacking up to our AEP and OEP days. So it is not slowing down at all. And agents are truly identifying that there is this C-SNP opportunity out there. And the reason we talk about C-SNP so much and really what sets Zing apart from other carriers is that our focus is C-SNP. So we have a growth for overall, or we have a strategy for overall growth, just like all carriers do, but we really just hone in and focus on C-SNP space, which is that chronic condition space. So it's our bread and butter. Our core product line is heavily loaded with the special needs plans, which I'll show you in a second. But right now, I mean, we are looking at about an 83% product mix. So all of the enrollments coming in, 83% of those are going into a C-SNP plan. No other carrier out there can say that. We are truly the only ones that can kind of can talk about that to that extent. But when we talk about other carriers and just the national growth of C-SNPs overall, C-SNP enrollments, this will be the second year in a row that they are the fastest growing segment in the MA space. They finally surpassed that 1 million member mark, which was really fantastic and just shows that this product line is continuously growing, not just with Zing, but with other carriers and across the nation, including Texas. So when we look at the number of new enrollees, but then also just the number of available C-SNP plans out there. In addition to the member enrollments growing, we've seen an increase of C-SNP plans just available. And specifically this past year, there were 21% of new plans available nationally. And we actually think that this is definitely going to be increasing as we go into 2026. So if you have not focused on C-SNPs or looked at them before, now is really the time. Similar to like D-SNPs were back when they were first being announced. This is really that's the trajectory of where C-SNPs are headed. If you look at the overall national landscape, specifically in the C-SNP market, we've ranked number 7. So if you think that we're only in 6 states and 43 counties and we're ranked 7, that's actually not terrible. And if you take out here 4, 5, and 6, they're all primarily in California, we're 4th. So being able to claim that on a national level, we really find pride in that. We're stacked right up there against UHC, Humana, and Elevance. I mean, and those are big names that we all know. So we're
Right.
really, really happy. And you can also see AEP growth here. I mean, we had significantly the most growth on a percentage base, but UHC as well. I mean, they almost had 50% growth in this space alone. So I think we're going to see a lot more from, not only the carriers on the screen, but even more players come into this space as we move forward into the year and into 2026. Now a lot of the changes on why we've seen so much growth are because of, the LIS election changes that we've all seen, the lack of D-SNP opportunities as we're into the lock-in period now. So it's really become important for carriers to have the focus on the C-SNP space if they're looking to increase their membership during that lock-in time. If you're not familiar with the C-SNP space and just the SEP overall, it is an SEP that can be used year round. So it's going to be one that if you have a client who doesn't really have a life-changing event like moving into a new state or loss of coverage, the C-SNP SEP is really going to be one of their only other options to make any shifts during this time. So it is offered year round. Anyone who's not currently enrolled in a C-SNP does have that ability to enroll into one if they have a qualifying chronic condition. And a qualifying chronic condition can vary from carrier to carrier. The ones for Zing Health are chronic heart failure, diabetes, cardiovascular disorders, and then we also have a C-SNP plan that's specific for those who have end-stage renal disease. And I'll show you guys what those look like here. This is just a look at our overall plan portfolio. I mentioned that, we are heavily focused on the special needs space. So you can see that the right side of the screen is heavily loaded down. But we do also have HMO and PPO plans. And I think a lot of agents they don't get that because we talk about C-SNPs so much because, again, that's our focus. But we do have HMOs and PPOs. HMOs we have in all of our states. Now, PPOs are selected to a limited number of our service area. However, Tennessee has some PPOs, so does Indiana, and then so does Michigan. So we have a full product portfolio, but again, our focus is definitely going to be on those special needs plans. One of the unique things that we have as well that I do want to just kind of touch on because it is available in all of our service areas is our elite or provider specific plans. So these are plans that we have created that have richer benefits, but are in partner with value-based care provider partners. So for example, in Memphis, in the Memphis area, in Mississippi, in all of our other areas, every market really except for Tennessee, not Tennessee specifically, but except for Nashville, we have partnerships with Oak Street Health. In Michigan, we've also recently brought on Village MD. So we partner with these value-based care providers to create enhanced plans where if someone was to enroll in those plans, they're going to be required to select a PCP within that partner's network, but they're going to get enriched benefits, and that's going to be lower maximum lower MOOPs. They're going to get higher transportation benefits, higher VBID or SSBCI benefits. So just kind of noting that that is something that we do offer, and we've seen a lot of success with it across all of our markets. Back to C-SNPs though. Again, we talk about it like crazy. And unlike a lot of other carriers and C-SNPs that are out there in the market, ours are truly tailored with enriched benefits that meet the individual needs of those suffering from the qualifying chronic conditions that we cover. So again, those conditions are cardiovascular disorders, chronic heart failure, diabetes, and ESRD. These benefits that come along with our C-SNPs are significantly richer than our general enrollment plans. Hitting on just some of the key ones that usually get a lot of the attention. We have a $0 copay for all of our C-SNP specific specialists. So these are going to be the doctors that the clients or the members are going to go see much more regularly throughout the year, sometimes even monthly. And more so than their PCPs. And it's going to be those endocrinologists or cardiologists, gerontologists, nephrologists,
Yeah,
ophthalmologists.
that's massive. And
That
so
is.
that would make me like think, I mean, no one ever wants to ask someone, hey, do you have heart problems? Or hey, is there something wrong with you? Like no one wants to ask someone that. But at the end of the day, like you most likely have an existing client that does have one of these qualifying conditions, and they could be having zero copays for those specialists. Like
That
it's crazy.
That is very true. And we help agents with that too. So we have resources because you can't just straight up ask someone if they have, a certain health condition. You need to remain compliant, and
Yeah.
by doing so, you just have to make sure that you're asking it in a specific format. And we actually have materials that can help agents along with that process. And honestly, the best place to start is within your current book of business. If you're sitting there trying to think like, all right, I definitely want to start focusing on this market, but how do I do it? Start with your current clients. Like that's your first opportunity. You already have all the information. You've got their drugs likely that you can run. And with our tools
You just gave me a
yeah.
light bulb moment. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
So, and I want all of our agents, I mean, this is such a regional training, but like everyone that's on here live, like you're going to get some really great nuggets to be growing your business, during these months before AEP. So on Life Center, I don't know if you're familiar with the Integrity platform, Michelle, and I know this isn't Life, but on Life Center, they have a new feature where if you click on the prescription, it'll tell you the possible conditions. So
That's great. I actually did not know that. That's very
it's
helpful as an
yeah, that
agent.
was a
Like that's
light bulb moment
huge.
because
Yeah.
it's brand new. Like we did a whole training on Life Center about it, but they're already using the platform for their Medicare clients. Like it's Medicare Center too. It's all in the
Yeah.
same platform. So they most likely have those prescriptions in there. They could just, out of curiosity, after this training, log in there, click
Yep.
on, you'll have to go into Life Center, like you're running a life quote to see that feature. But it'll tell you, like when you click on it, like the possible conditions.
Yep. And we have, in addition to like a questionnaire that we have that you can ask your clients, more of like a screening style. That's the format you want to remain in. We do have a list of common drugs that are most likely used if you have a chronic condition. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
I'd want
tied to our
that.
formulary at all, but I mean, if you're seeing two, three, four drugs pop up, it's
Mhm.
very, very likely that your client has some sort of chronic condition. Um, and a fun fact, I mean, really roughly 1 in 2 Medicare beneficiaries out there has some sort of qualifying condition. The numbers support that. It's very data driven and is another reason why I think this market is growing so significantly.
Yeah,
Because
that's scary.
diabetes, I mean, all of these, especially diabetes with being the highest condition with most prevalence, they're very common nowadays. So anything I think agents can do to help their clients get into a health plan that's truly, helping them manage these conditions and providing additional benefits along with that, I think is really important.
Mhm.
Um, some other specific hot benefits that come along with our C-SNP plans, in addition to those $0 C-SNP specialists, we've got a $0 tier 6 formulary. This formulary is really a head turner for most agents. I'm not joking. I'll be talking to an agent. They're like, I don't work with chronic, need patients or and all this stuff, but when I show them the drug formulary, I mean, it includes names like Ozempic, Januvien, Eliquis. I mean, it's a whole bunch of them, and that is like, okay, wait a minute, let me hear more. Like, let me actually pay attention. So it's a big one that we've been offering. This is our second year doing it. We're planning on keeping it for 2026. So, and I'll show you guys what that looks like here as well. But we also have OTC, SSBCI utility food benefits with all of our C-SNPs. All of our C-SNPs include 60 hours of PAPA support, and that's a really big one too. I think most people don't know what PAPA support is, so if you're not familiar with it, it is a service that the member can schedule and have someone come to their home and do anything from light housekeeping, transportation. They can do some light cooking. They'll do like cleaning. um, I think the biggest thing that they help with is technology. So they are trained on all the Zing platforms, the member portals, but they're also familiar with all your social platforms. So if you've got grandma over here who wants to get on Facebook to see her grandkids, like they can help with any tech issues that individual might be having or struggling with, just getting onto those platforms. So that's a huge one. Um, and then we've got chronic meal offerings too. So anyone who has a specific diet that they have to follow, we offer 28 meals that are going to be delivered to that individual. So it can be split into two. So that's a lot. 28 meals for someone is a lot of food. In addition to just the additional SSBCI benefits and funds that they can also use on groceries. So tons of very strong benefits that are offered with our C-SNP plans compared to some of the other plans that are available out there. Now when we talk about C-SNPs too, we are unique in a couple different ways. So we have a C-SNP plan that is specifically built for those who are also on Medicaid. So it is not a D-SNP. It is that I just want to make that clear. It is absolutely not a D-SNP plan, but
Can
it's a
we call it a
C-SNP.
CD snip?
But it's a C-SNP. So the individual has to have a Zing Health qualifying chronic condition. But if they also have Medicaid, specifically if they're fully dual eligible, that's going to be the individuals who are going to be most drawn to this plan. This is going to be a great option for them because these plans that we have are designed with all of our C-SNP benefits, but they're also built so they've got the 20% coinsurance. So if they've got that there's no Part C premium and the Part D aligns with the LIS target. So those fully dual eligible members are really going to have a premium free experience on this plan and get all of the C-SNP benefits that they would find on any of our C-SNP plans. So these are really, really great and rich. They're available in all of our markets. But it's very important that agents know that this is not a dual plan. So any communication or coordination between benefits from Zing to Medicaid, like we don't talk to each other. The member is going to be responsible for taking that on and making sure that they're filing their stuff properly with Medicaid to get some of those items covered. But it's unique and something that we've seen more and more growth in this past year. Another plan that is unique to us as well is our C-SNP that has the end-stage renal disease focus. So it is specifically built for those who have ESRD, they're receiving dialysis, and our ESRD plan is so, so rich in benefits. It's got $0 copay for dialysis. That's the biggest one. Most other MA plans or even original Medicare, they're going to cover dialysis that co-share. So you've got the 20%, and even at 20%, that's $60 per session. That's going to be thousands of dollars over the course of the year that a member's saving just by being enrolled into the Zing Health ESRD one. We also have, because their nephrologist is going to fall under that C-SNP specific specialist, they're going to have those $0 copays. And then all of our ESRD plans come with that unlimited transportation benefit, which just makes sense if someone's going, back and forth to and from dialysis multiple times a week. Like we had to do that. So, we just couldn't otherwise. I will say that this plan, I think we're going to be building it out a little bit more for 2026 and making it stronger. But this is really a focus of ours. So many carriers have kind of ignored this market because of the high risk, and we kind of have embraced them. So speaking in Mississippi only, Mississippi has a very high prevalence of individuals who have ESRD. So if this is an area that you want to kind of focus with and focus on and have that kind of little niche opportunity, I would say this is going to be it for you. So really excited to have this plan. We do have PPOs in the state of Tennessee, like I mentioned, as well as Indiana and Michigan. I don't go too deep into our PPOs because honestly, even though we have them, our HMOs really outshine our PPOs. The benefits are richer with the HMOs, and we have really strong networks in most of our markets, with Ohio lacking, but we don't have any PPOs there. But we've got really strong networks. So we actually see more people enrolling in our HMO plans than our PPOs. So I don't spend a ton of time on this, but we have PPOs available in Nashville.
I'm not sure where George is, but I know George is from Tennessee. That's on right now.
Welcome. So when we look at our overall highlights, because again, we do offer HMO and PPO plans, but some benefits that you're going to find on all of our plans, not just our C-SNPs. We've got no referrals. We've got reduced and limited prior authorizations for most of your Medicare Part A and Part B services. I mentioned we've got 60 hours of PAPA support on our C-SNPs, but we actually offer PAPA support on all of our plans. It's just taken down to I believe 30 hours on our regular HMO and general enrollment plans. Other benefits though, we've got grocery utility cards and OTC benefits offered pretty much on everything. You'll really see our benefits pulled back a little bit on the PPOs. So when it says majority of plans, it's usually all HMOs and then PPOs excluded. Another area where we really shine that's tied to our formulary is we have $0 insulins on all of our tier 3 formulary drugs. So those are going to be offered at like $35 by other carriers. We bring it down to $0 for all of our plans. We have dental, vision, and hearing benefits with everything. We also offer flex cards that have additional funds that members can use towards those DVH services. And then we've got $0 continuous glucose monitors. So that's a big one, especially for those, who have been, who are new to that tech. It's a way that they can manage their glucose levels regularly throughout the day without having, to prick their finger and use their test strips and everything. And then transportation, really quick, I just want to highlight that we do cover that on all of our HMO plans, and it's not just trips to like your doctors. It is going to cover um, food banks, grocery shopping, social security office, fitness facilities. So if they're using their Silver and Fit benefits, and then also church. So if we know our seniors, they're leaving their house to go to church, to go to the grocery store, and, probably to go to their doctor. And our transportation benefits do cover all of those visits. And I'm realizing I'm talking a lot slower than I thought. So, I already kind of covered a lot of this stuff, but here is kind of a highlight of a glance at that tier 6 brand name formulary. So Eliquis and Tresto, Ozempic, Jardiance, those are all part of that formulary. Really quick opportunity for C-SNPs in Mississippi. There's a lot of opportunity even during lock-in. You may not think so because there's no 5-star plans available and there's no Heidi-Fighty plans available. But when you look at the C-SNP eligibles within the 4 counties that we're in, which is the Northwest area, you are going to find a high number of individuals in each of those counties that qualifies for a C-SNP plan. I said ESRD has the highest prevalence. They're at 1.4% in Mississippi compared to, I think it's like 0.8% in all of our other markets. So significantly higher number of ESRD eligibles in the Mississippi area. When we talk about C-SNPs overall, in the entire state, there's 6 C-SNP plans available, and they're going to be offered by Humana, UHC, or Zing. We own 4 of those 6, so we're definitely
Wow.
dominating the market in this space. And if you're looking to break it down a little bit further, we do divvy it up by county. So if you're focusing on those specific counties or wanting to do any types of marketing or outreaches or whatever you're doing, we do bring it down to this level. And our benefits, again, are super, super strong in all of these areas. I'll share the grid so you can go look at them. But I mean, again, everything's going to come with flex cards, hearing, vision, dental, transportation benefits. Our food and utility benefits are really where we stand out too. All of our plans are going to have benefits ranging from $170 to $174 per month. So that's an extra $2,000 per year that the member has that assistance with those food and utility areas.
Yeah, and that's really close to the Memphis area, and I know we have some agents on here in the Memphis area.
Yep, Memphis on the Tennessee and Mississippi side was a new market for us for 25, and we've really been growing that significantly. So we've got some great things happening there. And so when I talk about our formulary, we excel in our formulary. If there's one thing we talk about agents and they say do not change, it is our formulary. On the C-SNP side, we've got that $0 tier 6 formulary, which is all the drugs listed here. But in addition to that, ours tier 1 drugs are all $0. If the individual does mail order for their tier 2, they're also going to be $0. And then we've got those $0 insulins that are on our tier 3. So our formularies are super, super strong, especially when you're comparing them to other carriers and other C-SNP plans in the market. You can see we pulled UHC and Humana in for this example, and ours kind of blow theirs out of the water. As far as providers in Mississippi, in the Memphis area, they're going to mirror on both sides of the border. So we've got Methodist, Regional 1, St. Francis, DaVita, Oak Street Health, and Fresenius. Just a quick look at our opportunity in Tennessee. Um, there is going to be a little bit more opportunity as well as competition in Tennessee, just based on the overall, Medicare eligibles. But there are no 5-star plans available. There are Heidi-Fighty plans available, so there is going to be some options for limited movement into a D-SNP during lock-in. But again, C-SNPs are really, really where I think a lot of the focus has been for agents. There's more carriers offering C-SNPs in the state of Tennessee. We've got Devoted, Humana, UHC, and then Zing. But we are still offering 6 of those 12 plans available. And again, none of these other carriers have benefits nearly to the strength that we do with our C-SNPs. Also breaking it down, the only difference that you really see in Tennessee too compared to Mississippi is going to be the option for that PPO plan. We do have PPOs in Tennessee, so you'll see those available. But as far as benefits go, again, our HMO benefits are really going to outshine those of the PPO. Same thing with formulary. It's super, super strong. I would say even stronger, looking at the available options here. And then our network here in Tennessee is also, again, in the Memphis area. It mirrors that of Mississippi. Nashville, we've got HCA, DaVita, Fresenius, and then Nashville General Hospital at Meharry. I will say that we will likely see some expansion in the Nashville area for 2026. I can't tell you what that's going to look like specifically, but that is going to be something that we have built in for the upcoming year. Here is the full Tier 6 formulary. I just want to show this on the screen so everyone can see it. So this can change year to year, but I think the bigger drugs on here and the game changer ones are likely going to remain the same as they have in the past to current times. And I know we're on time, so I do just want to, I'm going to skip forward really quick because I want to call out 2 things. So first off, HRAs. We pay agents $100 for every single HRA they complete when they write a C-SNP plan. And that's because we require our members to complete an HRA and if they want to maintain receiving those OTC and food and utility card benefits. So it's very important that we get that information into us. And it's so important. We want agents to help out with that process. So we do reimburse, or we do pay, not reimburse, we do pay agents $100 for their assistance in this process. They just need to get that done within 7 days of the application. So that's a really great add that you can bring in for every single enrollment you're doing with us. And then another thing I want to touch on because it's super important with C-SNPs is the verification process. So verifications and C-SNPs, I think that's probably been another reason why a lot of agents have always just avoided the product in the past. If you worked with us prior to 2025, we actually had an auto verification process that we were using, which we were kind of known for. CMS, along with a whole bunch of other things, they like to shake things up. So now we can't use that process anymore. We do have to have an actual verification from the provider, but we are above and beyond still this area. We're running at about 85 to 87% C-SNP verification right now, which is really, really great considering everything's manual. So whether that's getting forms in from the providers or having just providers call in our verification phone line or email us, we've been very successful. And also that percentage again is based on the fact that our C-SNP product mix right now is around 83%. So we have a ton of C-SNP enrollments coming through and we are verifying a very high number of them. So we're having a ton of success with that. So really happy. And lastly, I just want to show you guys, give you a glimpse at what we have together to help you identify C-SNP eligible. So I kind of already hit on this earlier. We do have materials for you. When you're talking to clients or prospects, if you want to stay compliant, and which obviously you do, but you want to see if they would qualify for a C-SNP. You really just need to keep your questions in a screening type format. So we do have a qualifying questionnaire flyer that you can use that includes questions for diabetes, heart conditions, or ESRD, and ask your client. Um, Along with that, we've got our medication list, which will have all of those drugs listed out. So if you have someone who's on a couple of those drugs, plus, answering the questions right, again, it's very, very likely they're going to qualify. We always have to have their provider verify their condition, but odds are going to be very strong if you're using these two pieces, and just kind of, doing any due diligence on your side and kind of filtering out some information, you're going to be able to find those individuals pretty easily. And that's all. I'm going to stop talking because I do want to answer questions and I know we're a little bit over time, so I apologize.
That's perfectly fine. I mean, you still have everyone on here. And so everyone that is still with us live, please put a question in the question box. If you're on Zoom, it's the Q&A box with the little question mark. Just type in that box a question and we will get it answered. And we would love to know like any feedback. Like, have you ever sold a chronic plan? Is this training helping you realize, that you need to start selling chronic plans? Like, where are you standing with C-SNPs? I would love to know that. And any other questions you might have. I know, of course, I'm gonna ask questions, but I'm gonna try to see if any specific agents have any. So Doug, Gary, George, Gwen, Karen, Keith, Martha, Shirley. I mean, I'll call you all out. I know you're listening. Put it in the question box. Give us your feedback on C-SNPs because I know I feel like it's definitely we still have a lot of agents missing the boat on it.
And I mean, I know I went through a lot of the information really fast, and it's likely, questions always come up afterwards because that's how it always is, even with myself. So if anything does come up, even, don't be shy. Like, reach out to myself. You can reach out to anyone at the elder care team. We all work together. So, just hammer us with questions. That's what I like.
I did see that Zing is available on the Medicare Center, so our platform.
Yes.
Do you know for sure that all of your plans are available to be written on our platform?
They should be. We, unlike some other carriers, have not suppressed any of our plans. We are also taking electronic enrollment, so we shy away from paper apps at every turn. So that is also a plus in this day and age. But
Yes,
yes, you should see all of our plans out there.
yes, that's a big deal. I mean, that some certain carriers did disrupt, our agents process, this AEP. And,
Mhm.
we do have agents trying to get into the C-SNP part and they want to keep using the Medicare Center for it. But like you said, some carriers suppress those plans.
Well, and to add to that, all of our C-SNPs are commissionable. So you will receive commission on every single one of our plans. We reimburse the full Medicare rate, so full market value, fair market. Yeah.
Awesome. And I do see like the HRA is available on our Medicare Center too.
Yep.
So that makes it a lot easier for agents. We appreciate that. Thank you.
We try to make it as easy as possible. That's what you have to do, especially, as not being a household name carrier and regional. We have to make it as easy as possible for agents to work with us. So, if there's any things that maybe you are working with us and you think that we can improve, let us know that too, because that's one of the benefits about being more nimble is that we can get things done a lot quicker and make those changes to help streamline the process and make things easier for you. So always keep that in mind. Um, and then just kind of while we wait for other questions to come in, we will be releasing our 2026 certifications here the same week as AHIP comes out. So I believe AHIP's coming out on June 24th. You're going to see our certification go live either the 25th or the 26th. So And that will cover you for both the 2025 plan year as well as 2026. So if you haven't certified with us yet and you're on the fence, but you think that you do want to sell C-SNPs for the remainder of the year, I'm no fan of doing things twice. So I'm fully fine. Like, definitely wait a month. Don't do your certifications twice. Just be one of the first ones to do it once we release it. And then you can just still benefit from that C-SNP selling opportunity, for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And then I have 2 more questions. I don't see any questions coming through from the agent. So my assumption is they're ready to rock and roll. But my first question would be marketing materials. So, let's say an agent leaves this training today, they want to get contracted. Maybe they are not local to one of the areas. Maybe they want to, mail something. Because we here at Eldercare, we do offer free turning 65 data. And then we also offer a special list that agents can purchase where they pick the demographics. So it might be something that they, want to get, a certain list of people from us, and then they want to mail them something from you. What do you
Yeah.
got there?
So we actually have a ton of materials available. So once an agent's ready to sell, they have access to the supply portal. In the supply portal, not only are they going to see their sales materials that they can order, but we have a vast majority of marketing materials put together, anywhere from digital ads that you can use if you're on Facebook and have a Facebook business page and can post compliantly, or if you're doing events out in the field or want to do mailers, we've got all of that out there. There's basic Zing branded ones. You can do co-branding on everything and have them personalized with your information or your agency's information.
Wow.
And you can even break it down to a condition. So if you want to focus on and specifically target those who have diabetes or ESRD or chronic heart conditions, we've got materials for every single condition. And one thing, because we are such a nimble size carrier again, we can offer all of these materials to our agents at no cost. So agents can customize them and order physical copies and have them shipped to them. And we do not charge for shipping. We don't charge for printing, nothing. So it's all
Wow.
free for you.
Wow. That's impressive. So if I was an agent,
Take advantage of that.
yes, I would definitely be taking advantage of that. I would be calling Eldercare, being like, hey, I need to get this contract. I need this, mailing data. I need these flyers, to mail and get them out the door. Because and I want to put this plug in too, this product does qualify for Eldercare's LEAD program. So just think, like, as you're writing these apps, you're qualifying for, a free 1,000-piece mail drop. And that could be used for your AEP marketing. So there's a lot of opportunity with Zing. And I really hope that everyone on this morning sees that.
Yeah.
I know I said I had another question, but I forgot it. Was there anything else that you want to add?
No, I think you guys pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. And then if you're not set up, of course, reach out to us and we will get you set up. And then I don't see any other questions coming through, Michelle.
Okay. Well, I'm good with that. So I just really appreciate you guys having me on again. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you everyone who joined for your time. If you do have any questions, I'm here. Don't be shy. And yeah, have a great day, I guess.
Yep.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for taking the time to talk to us. We hope
Of
you all have
course.
a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.